All right, everyone, it's time for another recap chat. 90 Day Fiance the other way. 90 Day Fiance is a reality show that follows couples. One person's from the US, one's from another country. They follow their relationship issues, going through the different challenges of the culture differences, the language differences, and trying to get that 90-day visa process, engagement, and finally, hopefully, marriage comes out of this whole thing. It's 90 Day Fiance. This spinoff of the franchise is the other way. So let's get into the couples. All right, we have Inky and Corona. Corona has finally arrived to Iceland to be with her boo. This is an interracial couple here. She is a woman of color, and Inky is someone that is from, I'll say, Nordic background or Caucasian. Um, he's from Iceland, so she's moving to Iceland, and she receives not such a warm welcome when she comes through the airport. He does have the flowers, which was good, but he gives her kind of a little peck on the mouth, and she kind of has to initiate that. So it seems a little awkward on her arrival. And when they get outside, it's crazy cold. It's -10 in Iceland. So not only is she getting a cold reception from Inky, it's super cold outside. So those two things are matching. Sorry, Corona. And on their drive back to his place, her new home, he's kind of quiet and not very excited about what's going to happen. She's kind of trying to put it all in, and he's not putting very much in. Actually, he seems bored on the drive. He even yawns as they drive back. So we're probably going to be coming back to them, but let's go to Shekinah and Sarper, and they're in Istanbul. Shekinah and Sarper have been on other installments of 90 Day Fiance, and at this point they're thinking about getting that K1 visa so that he could become a US citizen. But right now she's moved back to his country. It seems maybe temporarily. Financially, she couldn't keep things going there. She can't work there, so she had to go back to the US, make some bills, and she returned. And at this point, they've had their issues back. A lot of things have to do with his exes and keeping different things from his exes, and the tally of how he has like 2,500 women in his past and all that, the usual things. So they meet up with, I think this lady is a relative. I recall seeing her before, but I'm not 100% sure because she knows a lot about Sarper's past, and they talk about when he was in high school. And he says, I used to be chubby, and I think he revealed that before, but I feel like they got a little bit more in depth, and they showed pictures of him. For those that haven't seen Sarper, he kind of has a tight little body. He's kind of a big guy with a tight body. Kind of, it looks like he works out or whatnot. He is a personal trainer, so he looks the part, but it was a time in his past. In high school, he had body issues, and he had bullies and all of that. And she kind of said, "Oh, you had some baby fat." He said, "No, it wasn't baby fat. It was just fat." And he said he was bullied. And while he was in high school, he did get a girlfriend, but later on, he saw her walking with another guy, holding hands. So he tells his father about this, and his father it puts this in his head at a young age that you can't trust women. So after that, he kind of changed up, in the relative, kind of in a way maybe confirmed, but he kind of changed from that point on. That as far as how he treats women, probably how he sees women, it's pretty toxic. I don't know if she kind of knows what she's getting into. He says that she's the one. He's been waiting for her. He's been counting the days. We see his past of how many women he's been with. So this is a restaurant they're at where there's a belly dancer. So the belly dancer looks like she has a boob job. I'm sorry guys, it's facts, but she's like coming to Sarper and dancing in his face, and the relative is like, "Oh, this is just normal fun." She said, "This always happens. They always come to dance for him." And she kind of feels some type of way. She's kind of putting her stuff in his face, and she's like, hey, kind of putting her hand in the way and saying, he's taken. And he puts like some money in her bra, and I mean, to me, it was like this belly dancer turned exotic dancer. No clothing was taken off, but she was a little bit more revealing than the belly dancers that I'm used to seeing. Um, but they act like this is like normal, and I don't know if it's like a toxic culture over there when it comes to how men and women interact. But the relative, who's also a woman, she's like, this is normal. And I don't know, I feel like that lady was objectified, but it is her job, so she's probably happy to do so. And she's dancing in front of the camera. When you think about it, she probably wants to be on camera. She might have a few different motives here, but that was a nice little meetup where we got a lot of things revealed, and then the belly dancer just topped off that day. So let's go to. I want to go back to them, but maybe I'll just finish it up and just say, at some point she says, Sarper, I'm gonna go meet with your ex. She actually mentions that to the relative. The relative really doesn't care about anything that she's saying, as far as she doesn't feel sensitive about anything. But she says basically she accused Sarper of hurting her, and they were dated, and he kind of played her, and she was hurt by it, and so she wants to meet with her and see what was the whole situation about. Probably get some more insights on Sarper. And the young lady says, they dated for like 3 or 4 months. He did say that he loved her. It didn't sound like via text. He responded that he loved her too. When she said she loved him, so they were supposedly in a actual relationship. She says that he also was manipulative. He lied and cheated, and he insulted her. Like when she would find different women's clothes in his place, he would kind of turn on the manipulation and the insults, I guess, probably to deflect so that she wouldn't know or, really follow up on it. He would say these are his close friends' clothing. He's got a past. To me, it would be very difficult to think that I could change a bad boy to that degree. And not that you're going to change that person, but that person definitely would like to change because maybe you're in their life. They don't want to lose you. But not, of course, we can't just change a person. And that's one of the issues that we have in relationships, is we think we can change people. But people have to change on their own because they want to and they desire to. She said, Sarper told her that she was the first person that he ever told that he loved. And part of me is like, well, he probably did just kind of tell women that he loved them just to string them along and kind of get what he wanted out of the relationship or out of whatever he was doing with them. I don't think it's good to be with somebody who can throw the word love around so easily. It shows that they really don't have respect for it. They really don't know what it is. If they can just easily throw it around to anyone that they meet or anyone that they hook up with. So it just says a lot. And she's going to confront Sarper next time, I believe, about this scenario and what happened. To me, the way they set it up, they made me feel like this woman was like kind of fooling around with him while she was gone back to the US. And it wasn't that way, guys. So I said that in the previous episode, but it looks like this relationship, I think she said, was a couple years ago. So it wasn't even, it was a while back. I'm not fully sure how long Sarper should kind of have been together, but this whole ordeal took place or whatever, like a couple years ago. So it doesn't appear that it happened while she was gone. So I don't know if he has been cheating, though they kind of set it up to make us feel like that was possibly what was happening. But I guess we'll see as the show goes forward. We'll see if Sarper is really real, and Shekinah's really the one for him, and he's gonna be a different man for her. We'll see what's gonna happen. Um, Tata and James. Tata is in her home country making banana chips with her parents. They don't know that her husband James is coming to live in her country because she's had health issues, and she said that's why she came back. But she didn't tell her family any of this. They don't even know that he's moving in with them. So it's a lot of secrecy on both of their ends, because he last minute told his family he was leaving to go back to his wife's country. So these two people are not really good at breaking news to people, and they do things procrastinating, last minute. To me, it seems like they're not thoughtful. Maybe they're just fearful, and maybe they just don't plan properly. I don't know, but they're so happy to see each other. When he does finally arrive with this very long trip, I think he said he took planes, trains, was it bikes, cars, everything but a boat to get there. But in the meantime, before he gets there, she's talking to her parents, and they're saying, okay, James is coming. And of course, they don't know the extent of how far long he's going to be staying. They kind of get into a conversation about, her having grandchildren, which James recently said he's not sure if he wants to even have kids at this point. But of course, she's not going to reveal that, because they're the people that can't really reveal things to their family. They're kind of unsure. They're kind of scary when it comes to big, deep topics. And I guess they're going to really have to work on that, because even with each other, because if you can't deal with these big, deep issues, I don't know how you're going to sustain a marriage. They've been married for 2 years, and it appears that they're really in love with each other. The mother also was crying, hugging her daughter, saying she missed her. And she also revealed that the youngest child is really supposed to take care of the parents. And she was like, I want someone to take care of me. And she hasn't been there, so she feels guilty about that. But that's a lot of weight to put on someone. It's like, okay, well, the youngest takes care of the parents, and this is how it goes. But you don't really know what's going to happen, what situation the youngest is going to be in. I think they should kind of leave it open to whatever relative may be in the vicinity that can and is able to help support the parent. I do like tradition as far as some other countries, how they respect their elders and how they really look out for them, and they have a system in place within the family to support their elders, versus the US. At times they're kind of on their own. Elderly people may not have much support. They'll end up in nursing homes and places they don't want to be in. So I do respect the scenario of having some type of setup for the elders in your life, but that's just a lot of weight to put on somebody, and you're the youngest. I mean, depending on how many kids and young people you might have in your life, I mean, that could be a lot of weight. And as your parents age and whatnot, I feel like it's a family thing, and all the siblings should be able to pitch in and help and support. And sometimes they are in positions where they can't, but I think more than one should be responsible. If you have more than one child, more than one should be responsible for at least trying to help, or just help in the ways that you can help. You may not be able to do it all, but in whatever way you can help, try to help and support. So that's their scenario. When he arrives, I think she said she told all of her relatives, and she told her sister, and her sister was talking, and they were talking about how he's gonna have to try to get used to the customs there. The food is really spicy and all of this, but the sister supports her. She knows that they love each other. She brings her to the train station to pick him up. And again, now this was a very warm, loving reunion versus Inky and Corona. That one wasn't very warm and loving, but so that's the situation between Tata and James, they have a big story to tell. They have a lot to do and to connect with the family, and they have a lot of truth that they need to reveal. So that should be coming up pretty soon. We have Josh and Lily. Josh loves China, and Lily offered to take care of him. She has a great business of her own in China, and he can't work there. So, he cashed in everything he had in the US and came to live with her here in China. They're supposed to be having a traditional Chinese wedding that they're working on. But she's complaining a lot about the dollar bills amounts that she's spending. Though she's putting the money up, she's complaining a lot. So he's getting stressed a little bit about her continuing to talk about this and hoping that it's not something that's just going to be a regular thing. So for them to relax, she takes them to go get head and ear massages. And as they're getting the massage, he's actually seems like he's digging this massage and is actually getting his ear cleaned out and all of this stuff. And they're using tuning forks and feathers and all this type of stuff. I don't know. His toes were twitching. They showed us a little wet earwax. I really didn't want to see that. But they were talking about this wedding, and it's a dispute as whether he asked for the wedding or if she's doing this wedding for the family because they weren't able to participate in their US wedding. So he keeps saying, you're doing this for your family. She keeps saying, I'm doing this for you because you said you wanted a Chinese wedding. And I think the money is in there in some way. And she talks about how he's basically saying, when it comes to the money, don't worry about it. You don't have to spend an exorbitant amount of money. I told you that I don't have a lot of money, so I'm not worried about trying to spend a lot of money. He doesn't really care about that. And he just wants to be with her. And he still feels funny about the fact that she's going to be taking care of him. So I think they give them some time alone in that massage room, and then she goes over there with him and translates, as far as it comes to money, that's how she shows she loves somebody. She shows him that she loves him is by spending all this money on him and all of that. And I don't know if that's really a healthy mindset. I do feel like some people do believe, maybe one of her love languages is gift giving, but that's just beyond to me. Gifts is one of the love languages for those that may know the 5 love languages. But I think he was really turned on by this ear massage because he's trying to get some alone time with her. And it's like, how long do we have in this massage room by ourselves? He kind of gives a signal or a sign that they have to blur out that, he wants to have whoopee time with his wife. For those that don't know, whoopee is having sex. It's an old term. So I guess they have their moment. The cameras are off, but I was a little not expecting that. It was somewhat unexpected, but they're a married couple. They did what they did. We didn't see any of it, but we know it happened. Then they kind of talk to them like when they do the one-on-ones where they talk to the couples on the camera, and he mentioned something about happy endings, and she took it the other way. I know some of you have heard that term, but he's saying no, he's talking about their life and their family and what they're going to be, and she's talking about making it in the massage room, which is really what they did. So that was a little spicy for the 90-day viewers, and but they're a married couple, so they do what they do. We didn't see anything. All respect, and to me, it kind of shows me that they really do care about each other. They love each other, and consummation is a sign of that. And it's not just about. Hopefully, it's not just about the money, but it never looked like it's about the money with him. It seems like it's more of an issue with her. And with Corona and Inky, which I'll close out with them. So they're at his place now, and She has not no bit of closet space there. He was supposed to set that up for her. She needs to put all her clothes in. He didn't do that. So he has all this closet space taken up with his stuff, and he didn't think of, he said, I didn't have time. And she says she's soft partnering him. She said that multiple times where I guess she's not revealing her anger at this time and just trying to be gentle with him. So she does that. She kind of gets a little upset, but not so much. But she gets upset with on the camera when they do the one-on-one with her, and she's like half cussing about the fact that he didn't have the closet space for her. And it upsets her when people don't do what they say they're supposed to do. And I totally get that, but I feel like she was a little bit too over the top in her reaction. But even little things, though, are indications of how people are going to treat you. If they can't treat you well in the little things, will they treat you well in the big things? So it is an important indication. But for her to go off the way she did, I'll hate to see what happens when she stops soft partnering. I feel like you can only soft partner with someone else who's going to soft partner with you, and you guys have to know you're soft partnering. Otherwise, I don't think you're getting the full person. And I've never heard this term soft partnering, so we're going to talk about that more in the future. But that's all for this time. That's all, folks. Email me if you have any thoughts, comments, questions at cbiztv@yahoo.com. All the best. God bless. Faith, love, and trends. CBiz Media.